All of our entertainers, see, we have the talent. They have the expertise. They attach themselves to our talent. They are the managers, the agents, and they are the accountants. And that's why our black artists loved fame and got fame, but died poor because somebody else got their money, sent their children to the finest schools, and are able to continue to rule while you pass on nothing to your children but the legacy of your fame and nothing else. But today they've developed a new strategy. Let's make our Negroes rich. A new strategy. The old strategy was let them die broke. Or they take you, you know, when you first start singing, you're in what they call the Chitlin circuit. Y'all know about that? And then as you get famous in the Chitlin circuit, they finally put you in a supper club and you cross over and you get new management, you know, and then they take you to after parties and you meet a beautiful white girl. Did I say something wrong? And the next thing you know, you've ditched your black wife and have you a white one. And when you die, like poor Gary Coleman, there's a woman pulled the plug the first day. Don't stay, you might come back out. This nigga's worth more to me dead. Pull the plug. Poor Tiger. You know, he ain't black, you know, he's a Cablinasian. Whatever the hell that is. The greatest ball player that ever did it, golfer. And the girl that he married was a nanny, I understand. A nanny. And his man making billions. And he married a nanny. Now the poor fella, now she rich for the rest of her life with her beautiful mulatto children, and now he's struggling to hit the ball right. You're crossing over now. Bless your heart. But the money goes back to them. Now, they have my brother, Russell Simmons. He wrote a beautiful piece on black-Jewish relations. And I'm here to tell you, no black man or woman becomes a multi-millionaire without friendship in the Jewish community. I'll prove it in a minute. Did you know, I'll get back to, oh Lord, there's so much to give you, but I can't do it all. Did you know that nearly all prominent Negro actors and musicians have or had Jewish sponsors and managers? Florence Mills, Ethel Waters, Paul Robeson, Duke Ellington, Cab Calloway, Adelaide Hall, Valeda Snow, Bojangles, Hattie McDaniel, Stephen Fetchit, Rochester, Chilton and Thomas, and the Mills Brothers, the Ink Spots. Just keep naming them. Yes, sir. See, so they have a way of attaching themselves to your gifts, but you get nothing. They get it all. Now they've decided, you know, we have to change this. New strategy. Our brother Russell Simmons is a multi-millionaire. He's a good brother. And he has great friendship with the Jewish people. Miss Oprah, a beautiful woman with a beautiful heart, a multi-billionaire. But there's a Jewish man that helped guide her career and make her who she is. P. Diddy, Jay-Z, just name them. Even in hip-hop, Jews manage most of the black hip-hop artists. And man, I got something, I can't do it now, but they end up with nothing. They come with the bling bling and a nice car, and they show you that they're successful. But if you could see the breakdown of the record deals, they end up with nothing. As I said in my lecture, The Crucifixion of Michael Jackson, he was asset rich and cash poor. So if you're going to sell your assets, then you can get liquid. If you don't want to sell your assets, then you borrow against your assets. So the Jewish person with money was always there to loan Michael money because Michael was smart enough to buy the catalog of Elvis Presley and the Beatles. Is worth $1 billion. So he had it. They were trying to get it from him. He had Neverland. They were trying to get it from him. So he loved nice things, so he spent money because he had it. But then when he needed to save his property, he had to borrow. Now, what is the strategy? See? I have a list of all the NBA owners. See, it's like a plantation. You just a piece of meat throwing balls in hoops. They got dogs, they can do that. And they go in the hoop. Now you the best at doing it. So you're on a plantation, but you're rich. A rich slave. You sharecropping again. LeBron James sharecropper. Now I'm not downing my brother, but he's being used. And as long as he can play like he plays, they want him in Cleveland, they want him in New York, they want him in Chicago, they want him in Miami. So he's good meat, you know. Boy, in this book here, you should see the way they sold us. We have a nigger, 22 years old, strong, skilled in carpentry. We have a nigger wench. How did she get to be sold? She owed her rent and couldn't pay it, so they put her on the block and sold her. It's all here. Look. And here comes Brother Obama. Now look, do you love your brother? I do too. Do you know that he was nurtured for this position? Dr. Larry Muhammad, who is the director of the Universities of Islam, before he came to run the schools of the nation, he was in charter school business. And there was a Jewish philanthropist who told him nearly 5 years ago that by 1988, Barack Obama would be president of the United States. And do you know, when our brother was elected, 2008, I'm sorry, Jewish people wrote, as Bill Clinton was the first black president, Barack Obama would be the first Jewish president. Now that's a terrible thing to say, but they were telling you we own the brother. His early money came from Goldman Sachs. He was nurtured by Jews who saw in him his brilliance. He's a beautiful human being. And they knew that as brilliant as he was, they could use him to trick black people away from the promise of God.
Go ahead, Minister.
He's not a willing participant in madness. But Satan understood the time. And he knew that this was the right man for the time.
Go ahead, Minister. Go ahead.
They selected him, and what could we do? We had to vote for our brother because he was the best thing we ever saw. He's president now, and he's upsetting them. Because all the Jewish presidents met him in the Oval Office and told him to go easy on Israel and settlements in the West Bank. And because he was strong, out of Israel they started calling him what they've been calling me. An anti-Semite. Y'all with me? Yes, sir. Look here. No, I don't have a lot of time, but I do try to take it. I don't mean to wear you out. But I want you to hang with me. Because now, our brother is being beaten up like they've never done another president before him. They're angry with him because he's not towing the Israeli line. I have in my possession a letter written by Senators Reid and McConnell and by congresspersons, signed by 87 senators and 380-something congressmen, over 400 members of Congress, appealing to the president not to cave in to what happened to the flotilla from Turkey that were bringing relief to the blockaded people of Palestine and Gaza. They told him in words, hang tough and veto anything in the United Nations that comes up condemning Israel. I don't know what he's going to do, but I looked at the list of who signed it. You don't have no real representatives, you know that, don't you? All your representatives, for the most part, are bought and paid for. They will fight for you up to a point. Now I'll have to let you go. Listen, listen. President Obama can't talk about reparations.
Can't talk. Can't talk. Can't talk.
He's not going. He ain't bringing that up.
No, sir. No, sir.
I have here a letter that I wrote to Abraham Foxman. With a copy to the President of the United States and all the leading members of the Jewish community. And soon it'll be on the desk of...
Good. Hey, so check this, Pops. A lot of people